All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We're at the bottom of the hour, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let's slow it down a little bit, Mr. Ramirez, so that we can get more people on this platform. This is a can't miss event tonight. I'm excited as all get out to be here with you tonight to share some incredible information as it relates to MWR. Yeah, if you're in the business already, you understand it, but we're talking about a whole new MWR. This concept is setting people free, putting people on a track to win. Finally, this business of struggling day to day, Mr. Wilner, just getting by, we're done with it. We've got a real plan in place and we're excited to share it tonight. Eric, I reached out to you earlier. We've got the CEO and founder of MWR on the line with us tonight, Mr. Brian House, who's going to join us. We're going to run through the presentation, sir, as we do. And we'll do the short version because we want to get to the meat of this thing. We want to get a full understanding of what we have our hands on. This gentleman that's going to be joining us, you and I have the pleasure of introducing him very soon. But for those of you who haven't met him, Eric, I got to say this, and I know you'll agree with me. He's the most compassionate person that I've ever met as it relates to the well being of others, wanting to see people win and willing to pour resources into that effort. You don't see it every day, sir.
No, you don't. And especially, somebody who's a proven serial entrepreneur. And what also struck me a lot about him is how approachable he is. He's is as successful as he has been. He's also a very approachable, down the earth, really. Well, I guess part of it's because he came from the field, rose to where he is today. So he understands, from not just the management side, but also from the field representatives and the people out in the field that are making things happen. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a great honor to have him come and join us on our little fireside chat that we have here every Wednesday. I get excited to come and hang out with you anyway. But when I found out that he was going to come in and drop in for a little bit for us today, because apparently he has something that he wants to share with our group.
Hey, it makes it even more exciting, Sarah. Well, you and I are here every Wednesday night on this platform sharing the great news of MWR. And again, some pieces have been added that has really set us apart from any other company in this industry. And we're doing some major things, and we're going to talk about it tonight. So, for the sake of time, the platform still continues to load. I see more people coming in, and we'll go as slow as we can to give people time to get in because I don't want them to miss anything. But for those who are seeing and hearing this for the first time, I strongly encourage you to grab a pencil and paper. You're going to want to take some notes. Once Eric and I are done with the presentation, we're going to circle back. We're going to bring on our CEO, the gentleman that God gave this vision to, and help us fully understand what we have our hands on. And Eric, I still believe there are some that really don't see everything. They don't get the full picture yet, but we're going to paint that picture tonight and we're going to help them understand. But ladies and gentlemen, I'd be remiss without sharing with you the gentleman that I share this platform with every Wednesday night, my good friend out of South Florida, Mr. Eric Wilner, happens to be the founder and host of the longest running real estate radio show, syndicated radio show, by the way, in the United States. And Eric, I'm so proud of you and excited for you for what you're doing in that industry.
Well, I'm having a lot of fun. It is a labor of love, a passion. Not just the radio show, but real estate and providing home ownership for people. You know, there are four basic human needs, right? Food, water, air, and shelter. Without all four of those, a long life is not to be had. And really, it's the basic things. And one of the neat things that when how you and I met, as you were describing this company to me, I saw three fundamental things that I really relate to, and I call them, my core beliefs, because I talk about these not only on my radio show, but in every single day, and everything and every decision that I make is really centered on these three statements I'm about to make. Number one is I believe that everyone should own a home. So it's obvious that a guy who's made his entire career all about real estate, the financing, home ownership, and everything that has to do and relates to that. Number two, I think that everyone should have their financial house in order. And by that mean you need to have a written plan, whether you call it a financial plan, a life plan, a business plan. But the bottom line is that there's a money game. You and I have had this conversation many times. There's a money game going on out there in the world. And either you know the rules or you don't know the rules, and you can't win a game that you don't know the rules. And so you got to get that financial education, get the basics, and then you got to write a plan. And there's so many distractions, there's so many different forces pulling at your attention that without having a written plan, it's hard to stay on track, and it becomes your financial roadmap. And tonight we're going to talk about how you can get professional help in both those areas. And number three is that I believe that you need to have multiple streams of income. That usually means having a business. Now, you don't have to be a full-time, entrepreneur like you and I are. You can be can be a part-time thing. It's as long as it's a consistent part-time. But the bottom line is, as long as you're working, you see, and I think this is something so basic, why they don't teach it in school really puzzles me. Because, see, in order to retire, you have to have money coming in that's not tied to the efforts of what you do, and I don't care whether you get paid by the hour, by the salary, by commission, as long as you're trading your efforts for the next dollar, you can never retire financially independent. In fact, even Warren Buffett is famous for saying the exact same thing. As long as you're trading hours for dollars, as long as you're working for the money that you earn, you'll never be able to retire. So in order to get to the other side of that bridge, you have to have income. And in order to have income, what you really have to have is assets, and business is an asset. Real estate is an asset. And there's all sorts of things that can generate residual income for your residual expenses while you go out and make the impact or do the things that are really important to you. So those are my three things. And what was wonderful when you and I met is that, you shared how the company that we're going to talk about today shares those exact same beliefs. In fact, it's built a lot on those same principles. So thank you.
No, no, thank you, sir. And I'm glad that you took the time to kind of share your vision with us because my phone's ringing off the hook right now. People are trying to get in. I've just sent the password again. Guys, it's capital V. Vision is the password or the passcode that gets you in. I've even offered them the Zoom link, Eric. And for those who own and got people trying to get on, the Zoom ID for this site is 770-925-6904. I'll say that again, 770-925-6904. Password is vision with the capital V. Guys, listen, the platform is loading up. Eric, let's get right into it. We're here to talk about the company that you mentioned that you and I had a chance to speak about 3+ years ago in South Florida, and it's MWR, guys. And MWR stands for Make Wealth Real. See, this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. So we're going to get into it and talk a little more. Eric, hang on one second here. All right, guys, hang on. Give me a second. Let me figure this one out.
While you're doing this, tonight's going to be a little bit unique because normally you and I have a very casual conversation. We have our presentation outline, but you and I talk about stories. And as I mentioned before, there's a money game. I call it, you need the financial edge. And our Wednesday night is all about helping people to achieve that financial edge. And like I said, it starts first with education, understanding, basic terms about money, basic concepts about money, and then understanding that, it's not that complicated. I think Wall Street, Washington, big business wants us to think that it's complicated so that we're dependent upon them. But the truth of the matter is it's very easy to, number one, learn the basics. And then number two is assemble a team around you. You see, nobody is really a self-made man without a team around them. And what we're going to talk about tonight is how you can get experts in the area of taxes, experts in the area of finances, debt reduction, and so forth. So whenever you're ready to go on, I just wanted to kind of share that background because in a little bit, we've got a really special guest coming on who
Real
is
special, my friend.
he is, well, first of all, when the founder of a company comes on, everybody has to stop and listen, that there's going to be nothing but good coming out. And now you get to catch up, understand where we are, what's going on, and what opportunities lie out here, because that's what we saw is the opportunity.
Absolutely, sir, without question. So let's get into it a little bit and talk about who we are, right? Again, MWR, where Lifestyle and Legacy Connect. Think about this, guys. We're the first and only lifestyle and legacy company of its kind. You won't see this anywhere else. The company was founded in 2017. It's a total debt-free, multi-million dollar company. Now, that's it in itself says a lot. But look at the mission, Eric. These are the impressive things. The goal for this entire operation, everything that we've put in motion, is to help the average everyday person experience true time and financial freedom. Not only that, let's look at the vision of this company to create more financially independent families than any other company in history. I want to be a part of that, sir. And there are many other people who want to be a part of that. But here's the thing that levels the playing field. It gives you and me and the average everyday person the same access to the same strategies and systems that the experts had previously only been reserved for it. We now have the same access to the same tools and systems and strategies and experts that are previously reserved for only the wealthy. So I say we've leveled the playing field, and we're going to be able to show you and help you understand how we've done it. But Eric, let's get into your wheelhouse. Let's talk money, right? We talk about an MWR as a risk-free way to tap into the global financial market. Now, when we talk about the global financial market and the makeup of dollars that makes all of this happen, there's a percentage that we hold in that market. There's a share. It counts to be about 30%. So in dollars, that's about $36 trillion, the current market size. Now it's projected to grow to $50 trillion in the next 5 years. So does this give you an idea that maybe we all can get a piece of the pie?
Not only that, but don't forget, this is a conversation that everybody has every day. I mean, we talk about the price of gas, we talk about the price of eggs, we talk about the economy. Today, with the big topic was, interest rates. This conversation, the financial world, like I said, you got to know the basics about it. And what we're now talking about is a company that's poised smack dab in the middle, one of the fastest growing financial services companies today in America, that whose sole mission is to level the playing field, as you said, to bring all of what's available out there. You see, a lot of what we're talking about isn't even necessarily new. It just hasn't been promoted or educated on the basis. And that's what's so revolutionary about the company.
I've heard it about financial advisors say, someone who's been in the industry for 50 years, looking at this platform, his comments were, it's the most comprehensive financial platform ever offered to the general public. And that says a lot. So why are we so excited about this? Because we're offering a realistic way, a pathway to wealth, if you will. So MWR has created a three-step path to wealth. And let's talk about those three steps, Eric. First, we're going to use not your money or mine, we're going to use the bank's money. Access guaranteed unsecured business funding. Two, we're going to purchase income producing assets. Sounds like the game plan of the wealthy to me. Those assets are going to generate passive monthly income while benefiting from appreciation over time. And three, Eric, we have the opportunity to share the good news. And in sharing that good news, we have a chance to generate multiple streams of immediate and residual income by sharing this path with others. Who wouldn't want to hear this story?
Dr.
Well, this is,
GW, don't mean to interrupt. Are you showing your PowerPoint?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah, we can't see it.
Oh my goodness, all that time, Fernando. Wait a minute.
and
Hey,
Gerald,
we're
I'm
so we're
sitting
so
here.
excited. We're so excited taking notes. We're like, okay, wait a minute. Oh, we're missing the PowerPoint here. But awesome stuff.
I'm
Thank you
sitting here
both.
having a great conversation with Dr. Parker that I didn't even pay attention to that as well. Thank you, Fernando, for otherwise Gerald and I would be having a conversation for the next 2 hours, and we wouldn't be missing the PowerPoint presentation.
You're absolutely right, my friend. But we're going to do that for you right now. Let's share this PowerPoint. We've only skipped a couple pages, Eric, but we're going to get back into it and kind of take off where we left off. And guys, listen, I don't know. I'm excited. I just cannot. This is so exciting right now. So bear with us, work with us. This is what happens when you go live. So that's okay. Our numbers are increasing by the minute. So Eric, let's start. And this is a good place to start. We want to start with our path to wealth. And there's three simple steps that we've created, sir. So hang on 1 minute. I'm there. Can you see the
And
screen
th
now?
Absolutely, yes. And as I mentioned before, this is not a complicated process, or it doesn't have to be a complicated process, especially if you've got some experts in your corner. But as you said, the famous OPM, other people's money. One of the biggest secrets of the wealthy is the ability to access and have access to other sources of funds. And we're going to talk about that tonight. Having access, in fact, having guaranteed access to unsecured business funding is one of the most powerful tools that you can have out there. But the thing is not just to have access to the money, but then is to know what to do with that money. We're going to talk about that as well, because the whole point is to generate positive leverage, which means that I'm going to borrow some money at an interest rate, but I'm going to invest it and earn a higher interest rate. And then the only thing that limits the amount of money you can make is how much money you have access to. So we're going to talk about that. But when you see what we're going to talk about tonight, I think you're going to tell other people the same way you tell people about a great restaurant, a great movie, a great show, anything like that. But imagine if that was also a source of income as well.
No doubt about it, sir. I just want to go back one slide and help people understand what we're about to tap into. That there's enough for everybody. We can share this wealth because it is here. There's a wealth transfer taking place as we speak. And we're talking about in 5 years worth $50 trillion. That's more than enough, Eric. So we all get a piece of the pie, but we've got to have a way to do it. And MWR is that way. So guys, let's keep moving here. We've gone through our 3 steps. All right. So Eric, let's talk about the first step. We've got to secure the funding somewhere from someone or from some way. At least we've got to secure the funding. Where do we get the money from? It's Fundable 360. The concept that we've created is business credit and funding made easy. Now, Eric, what I love about this, no personal credit required, $50,000 minimum, no collateral, expert guidance along the way through the entire process. The funding, my friend, is guaranteed. Now, you've been in the financial industry for decades. How often do you hear guaranteed? It doesn't happen. And
You
then once
don't.
this door is open, this money, this is ongoing funding. Once you're approved, you're always approved. But look who backs this concept. Look who backs Fundable 360 as the leading company in this country to secure business funding. Forbes Magazine, Inc. 5000, USA Today, CBS News, Fox News, as well as Entrepreneur magazines. We're sitting in the right place, sir. I do believe we've hit a home run here.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing that I hope people are catching. You talked about no personal credit needed. And when I saw that, I actually saw two opportunities. Number one, no personal credit needed implies that we're going to get funding based on something else. Imagine if you could create not one credit profile, but two. One personal, access to personal funds and financing, but another one based on business. And that's what we're talking about, business credit. And imagine being able to have two separate. So it's really, you almost can double your access to funding. Remember, that's secret number one of the wealthy, is to have access to other people, other people's money, other funding sources. And that's what we get here. A minimum of $50,000 guaranteed through this platform here called Fundable 360. And that's just the beginning of what we're talking about.
Wow. And you're absolutely right. It is just the beginning. So let's dig a little deeper and talk about precious metals because we're in the process now of securing our future. We've secured the $50,000, someone else's money, right? Now we're going to purchase silver, gold, or platinum or other precious metals. But the key to this is we're going to store those metals securely in a licensed and insured depository. And now, as it sits there, we have the ability to earn from it. So we're going to generate monthly income through our exclusive leasing program. And at the same time, we're going to appreciate, right? Because we know the value is going to increase. So we're going to benefit from long-term value growth of precious metals. You want to talk about secure? You want to talk about the ability to take advantage of appreciation? We've got it here, sir.
Yeah, and this is just one example. One of the things that we didn't mention about the Fundable 360 is that when we get you the funding, you can use the money for whatever purpose you want. If you're an existing business that needs more money for advertising, inventory, or anything else, you can do it. Obviously, you're going to take financing because you can do something with the money that's better than what the cost of the money is. And here you have, again, experts in your corner showing you how to deal with precious metals. I love hard assets. Obviously, real estate is also an option. Precious metals, a hard asset, two great hedges against inflation. And both, by the way, come with contracts so that you can predict the income, so that you can be relatively assured of the income. And that's what makes this example really interesting.
I like it, sir. Let's keep moving here. Let's talk about the advantage of silver, the prediction, what experts are saying. You're talking about a 60% growth in value. That is strong as thunder to me, my friend.
It is. It is. And, this is just, what we've seen, both historical and projections. Obviously, projections are what they are. But what we're seeing right now, and, sort of an uncoupling of the market, there's been a lot of effort over the years to, try to, manage and manipulate the market. But now these markets have grown so big that now market forces are taking over. And that's why you're seeing that kind of growth.
No question about it. But here we go. Break it down for us, Eric. Help us understand how to put all this in play. We've secured the $50,000. Now we're going to put that money to work.
Yeah, and what I always like to say, don't let minimums be your maximums. But, Fundable 360 guarantees a minimum of $50,000. So let's just use that as an example, and using, your example in the precious metals. First of all, you obtain the funding, and by the way, you've got experts in your corner, financing experts to help coach you and guide you to make sure that you get the $50,000. You take that $50,000. Now, what do you do with it? You purchase an investment. Your initial purchase, in this case of $50,000, generates by contract and monthly interest it's an annual interest, but monthly interest expense of $333.33. What's interesting about that, okay, is that we have now the monthly contract that generates income. Now, this could be income from the leasing of precious metals, could be the leasing of real estate, but imagine having income coming in at $750, generating a net profit of $416. Now, this is not going to fluctuate from month to month. This is based on the contracts. Now, multiply that 416 positive cash flow each month times 12 is about $5,000 a year based on 50,000. Now, we're just talking about basically a 10% return on your cash. On top of which, both of those assets that I'm talking about have annual appreciation. It means the asset is growing, and based on the last 5-year average, silver 13%. Add another 6,500 to the 5,000 that you got in cash flow, and now at the end of the year, you've got your $50,000 investment became 61,500. So what do you do now? And by the way, all of this, right? Not using your own credit, all without risking a penny of your own money. This is all OPM, other people's money. Well, what do you do after year one?
Wow, this is the same thing, my friend. You go back and do the same thing over again. So we have the ability now to watch our wealth multiply. Think about accumulating over $500,000 in assets and over $4,000 a month in passive income through this process. I mean, I ask people, what's your plan? Because we all need to have one. You talked about it earlier, right? And if your plan can't get you here in 5 years or less, like this one can, maybe it's worth looking at another plan. And we've got something worth looking at. And not only just for me and you and all the people on this platform, let's ask this question. How many people do we know that would like a risk-free way to accumulate millions in income producing assets without using their own money? What's the answer, Mr. Wilner?
Everyone, right? If you were offered the access to the money and you knew you had something that you could do with it, of course, anyone that you ask any business owner, in fact, out there, if they could use an extra $50,000 of guaranteed funding without without using their personal credit. And they will at least ask you for more information, right?
No doubt about it. They will, and they are. But now let's talk about the ability to generate income from sharing the concept, right? So simplicity plus duplication equals what? Leverage, right? So help us understand this, how we can grow this additional stream of income by offering the opportunity to other people, business partners who will join with you to spread this good news?
Well, like I said, you hear a good you have a good show, a good movie, a good meal. You're going to tell a bunch of people, and if you had the access to leverage and financing, like we're going to talk about, you're going to tell a lot of people. You're going to want to tell a lot of people. But let's just break it down into an example. Suppose you share it with 12 people, just 12 people, building a network of other people who are going to have the same great experience and wanting to go out and tell their 12 people. But suppose that only 12 of them get around to sharing that out there. Now your network expands not only through the people that you're telling, but through the people that they're telling. And you see, as we know today, social influence, social media, there's a whole occupation now of influencers. Imagine if we could show you a way how to use today's technology in one of the fastest growing financial services company in America to be able to get compensated. Now, suppose that out of those 12 that you shared with, 6 that they shared it with, then they shared it with only 3. And we're supposing that, the next generation only does half of what you do. Then the 3 share with 2 who only share with 1. By the time you do the math here, okay, because it sort of fans out into a triangle, that builds a network of over 1,164 people, by the way, which would be generating in excess a 6-figure income, generating over $12,000 in monthly residual and possibly more. So think about that, $12,000 a month in residual income because you're sharing, 4,000 in passive income because of your investment. There's 16,000 potential dollars in there, something that Social Security could never even touch, that continues whether you're working or not. And remember what I talked about in the very beginning, the object of the game in life is to work to buy the assets that can replace or surpass the income that you were working for, so that you can now spend more time with family, travel around the world, make an impact, donate your time, or whatever it is that's meaningful to you, because you don't have to worry about the next bills and how to pay them.
No more trading time for money, my friend.
No.
I love it. I love where you're going with this. Hang on, I'm going to the next slide here.
Yeah. So, this whole concept, and I think you're going to hear more and more and more about it, the importance of generating, residual income. We generate now income to pay now bills. But what we have to do is we have to generate enough now income to not only pay our bills, but to invest and buy those assets. And we want to build residual income by referring others to the premier wealth building system in this country. And the neat thing about this, and we'll talk a little bit about the payment structure and all that other good stuff, but I don't know, at what point in time would you like to bring on our special guest? Because I know a lot of people are chomping at the bit to hear what our CEO has. But I hope that we've explained enough about the concepts behind what this company is all about, and now to understand that you're not only talking about a company, we're talking about one of the most generous compensation plans, but also, and now, as I mentioned before, you're going to see how approachable the leadership is. And a great ship without a great captain is still in danger. And now let's talk a little bit about the captain.
Oh, no question about it. A couple more slides, Eric, and we're going to bring them on. We just want to get to a couple more things here, guys, to help you understand what the potential income looks like. Eric had shared with you what $16,000 looked like, 4,000 of that coming from your precious metal investment, another $12,000 a month because you've actually shared the concept with people. The potential income with this concept is $15,000 a day. That's the maximum daily
A
income for
day.
MWR per day. And now we're talking $450,000 a month. That's $5 million a year. Whatever dreams you have, surely I believe that you have the ability to get them done for not just yourself, but your family. Eric, we'll run through this one real quick. We talked about daily guarantee. I call this my fixed income chart. You've got another name for it. I call it that because I can fix my income to be whatever I want it to be. But there's so much money in play here. You're talking about lifestyle bonuses, $300 a week. Legacy bonus pays from 30 to as much as $150 for everybody that joins your organization. Momentum bonuses, $1,500. I mean, and you have the ability to capture that in less than the 90-day cycle that they give us to do it. People are doing it in 5 days, 10 days, 20 days. There's a chance to really set yourself free. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. We want to talk about freedom because that's what this opportunity offers. But now there's more money on the table. Eric, you talked about referring business owners to the MWR Fundable 360. You're even going to get paid there. Referral bonus of $400 if you've grown an organization like you laid out, those 1,100 people. If they're doing the exact same thing, now there's a 25% check match on everyone that you personally sponsor. So you pick up an additional $100. And then the referral and the legacy referral bonuses carries over to this platform as well. So you have the ability to make from 30 to as much as $150 in legacy bonus for every business that is referred by your organization. So this is work, ladies and gentlemen, that we're not having to do on our own. So Eric, we'll talk briefly about the benefits and we'll get the CEO on. But precious metals leasing, let's talk about that. Access to MWR's exclusive precious metal leasing program for passive income generation. Financial experts, you mentioned earlier, all that we bring to the table with these experts. Dedicated experts to assist you with debt elimination, tax reduction, credit restoration, so many more things. Bill reduction services, as well as our savings program, which is MWR Rewards, saving you money on your everyday purchases. And the platform continues to load up. As a result of these services that we offer, Eric, we're talking about saving the average member $2,000 a month. Now, I don't care where people are in their financial life. If we have the ability to put an additional $2,000 a month back into your pocket from your existing finances, is that of some interest to you, sir?
It's a lot of interest. When you think about it, $2,000 a month times 12 is $24,000 a year. Imagine clawing back $24,000 income that you made, okay? Expenses that you used to have are now reduced by an average that we're talking about. We have members that have saved more. We have members that save less. But here's the important thing. You're already earning income right now. But most people that you talk to are basically living paycheck to paycheck because they don't understand a lot of these fundamental concepts of how to lower your taxes, how to reduce or eliminate the interest that you pay. I often say on my show that debt is the middleman between you and financial freedom. And that's why these savings are so important, because you've got to be able to somehow free up the money. Okay, until you're able to get that OPM money, you got to free up the money out of your current income and then start investing in those assets to secure your future.
I like that OPM money, sir. No question about it. So let's talk about the cost. The membership alone, $149.97. No contract to sign, no setup fee. Your success is guaranteed. Even includes a spouse, so you get a chance to build wealth together. You're going to unlock precious metals purchasing and leasing opportunities while your personal team of financial experts helps you protect and keep more of the money that you make. As we said earlier, Eric, our experts do the work. You enjoy the rewards. But it gets even better. There's a business opportunity that exists. Now, I want you as a business owner to kind of run through this with our audience to help them understand the advantages of a turnkey operation. I've heard you often say that you're buying an existing business. Is that what you say?
It is, because we know statistically that the vast number of new started businesses don't last 5 years. Okay. And it's usually either because of lack of guidance, lack of capital. But the bottom line is what we're talking about here is a 100% IRS compliant. I call it a business in a box. You're not starting a business from scratch, coming up with your websites, your logos, your names, how to incorporate, building your team. This is all done, already prepackaged for you, for a simple one-time setup fee. And for the ridiculously low $100, you get access to an ongoing business, one that's already proven over the years. You mentioned earlier, this is a debt-free company that is now giving you the opportunity to be a piece of a big machine. You've got the front-facing website, which has all the marketing material, all the presentations, everything that you need for your business. A turnkey website already done, all within that $100. On top of that, you have also the rear facing or the administrative part. Keep track of all of your leads, all of your commissions and everything. So you see exactly, we went through it fairly quickly, but there's over 7 different income streams that we talked about. It is one of the most generous compensation plans that I've seen in any industry. And like I said, here's an opportunity. Remember my 3 beliefs, right? Own a house. We didn't even mention the fact that we have a program that regardless of a person's credit, regardless of their financial background, that MWR has a program to help them to become homeowners, okay, regardless of credit. Go to a bank and tell them that what their program is with no credit. It doesn't exist. Go to your stockbroker and ask for guarantees. That doesn't exist. But you heard us talking about that right here, black and white in writing. The second thing that I said was to have your financial house in order. We talked about how to have that plan put together with CPAs, CFPs, all part of the experts that you now have unlimited access to. And finally, I said the multiple streams of income, and that's what we're talking about right here. For a one-time $100, setup fee, you now have access to be able to make referrals, track referrals, and earn unlimited income. And that's the secret to getting that leverage in order to be able to retire.
No question about it, sir. So you're talking about a startup fee of $249.97, $100 of that one time, and an ongoing expense of $149.97. Let me kind of help our audience understand what that does for you. One, it puts you in business with the fastest growing financial strategies company in the country. That's MWR. Two, it puts you in the middle of a multi-trillion-dollar a year industry. I mean, name a time in our lives where money hasn't been an issue for most people that we know, including ourselves. It always has been, probably always will be, unless they meet somebody who's a part of MWR. We can rectify that issue quite quickly. But you mentioned multiple streams of income, Eric. Let's count them. The luxury residual 1, sponsor bonus 2, momentum bonus is 3, lifestyle bonus is 4, legacy bonus is 5, MWR fundable 360, that's 6. The matching bonus with that makes 7, and then the additional legacy bonus attached to that. 8 different ways, my friend, and one compensation plan that you have the ability to generate streams of income unheard of in this industry, unheard of in the financial sector. And you mentioned earlier our guarantees, 30-day money back guarantee. Even with Fundable 360, there's a guarantee in place. This is, my friend, a risk-free opportunity.
Absolutely. And here you are, it's black and white. You'll see this same guarantee every single Wednesday night when we make our presentation, because as we mentioned before, without having to really risk your own capital, we're going to show you how to build extra cash flow, invest extra cash flow, get access to extra funding, invest that extra funding. And again, that's how you get to it. People who understand interest earn it. People who don't understand interest pay it. We're going to show you how to be earning interest, returns, and so forth, and have your financial game under control.
I'm loving that, sir. I'm absolutely loving it. Listen, this is our final slide right here. I wanted to end here because this one is so thought-provoking. It really, really is gut-checking for many of us, because we have the ability now to kind of get a clear picture of where we are, or at least give some thought to where we are. I shared with you, I think maybe last week, I had a conversation with a friend of mine that I've known since elementary school. And at the end of the conversation, it always ends the same way. The question that we ask ourselves, have we done enough? Meaning, have we put enough money in play through investments to live the life that we dream of for the rest of our lives moving forward? The answer is always no, myself included. So we've got to kind of close this gap and figure this thing out, but what got us here? Why the great majority of the people in this country struggling financially past retirement age? Because we were sold an idea. What was that idea? Get yourself a good education so you can get yourself a good job. When you get that job, you commit 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then they expect you to live off 40% of the income that you're earning when you're working full time. And most people couldn't make it off 100%. So this is a losing proposition, Eric. You talked about it earlier. trading time for money. I think it was Warren Buffett who said if you don't find a way to have money invested that will give you a return while you're sleeping, then you're going to be forced to work until you die. And that is the reality for the great majority of people in this country. So here's the traditional path, the one that most of us are on. Work 40 years to hopefully retire. Now that number has since changed. You've seen that shift happen over the past few years. That number's gone from 40 years to 50 years now to hopefully retire. You're risking your own money to invest. You risk personal assets and credit. You're working harder for more income. And then we're settling for 5 to 7% annual returns on our investment. And then for those who are relying solely, I'm not talking banking your future on Social Security and 401k, I keep you in my prayers. I'm not sure about either one of those platforms, Eric. So, but let's talk. I will let you talk about the alternative, the MWR path. What are the benefits at looking at this way to go?
Yeah, and sometimes I call this, before tonight, the traditional path, and then after tonight, now you've been exposed to something completely new. And the path as of tonight, moving forward, is about building retirement income and assets. And we're going to show you how to do it. We gave you one example of how to do it in 5 years or less. But whether it takes 5 years or 6 years, when would you rather find out that what you were doing didn't work out? After 40 years or after 5 years, so you can pivot and make a change.
There you go.
This is going to be the new standard. People are not, there's no longer people staying in a job for 40 years, waiting to retire, get the gold watch and a guaranteed pension. Those days are long gone. Today, the entrepreneurs of today and moving forward use the bank's money. They use other investors' money with no risk to their own personal assets. They don't use personal assets, and many of them don't even use personal credit at all because of what we show you with Fundable 360. The amount of credit, we said a minimum of $50,000, but we didn't tell you that there was a maximum. The better you do, the more credit you will get. It's always the old joke, right? The banks always want you to prove that you don't need the money, and they'll give you more money. In fact, They'll entice you. They'll give you incentives. They'll give you 0 interest for 12 or 24 months. They'll pay you if you spend a certain amount of money. And that's where the magic, it's ironic that the wealthy, the people who do well, keep getting extra bonuses and perks. They get lower interest rates. All the advantages come there. Then we talked about the kinds of return. The market tries to convince us that 5 to 7% annual returns, that's the slow road to retirement, if at all. We're going to talk about rates of return 12, 24%, and even more. We've seen that with our land banking. We're talking about guided investments with vetted professionals. And again, what's the end game, right? Not to rely on Social Security or the uncertain, 401ks that often become 201ks. We're talking about enjoying passive and residual income, okay? And this is an important thing to understand. Passive and residual income that you own and you control and that you can rely on. So you can continue to do the traditional path, or after today, I think you're going to want to get more information. If nothing else, get more information. But here's the thing, life punishes procrastination. Life rewards. Money loves action and money loves speed. And that's why, maybe we moved a little quickly through the slides, but there's an opportunity for you to get back with the person that brought you here tonight to get further information, answer all your questions, because let's talk about this now in the global sense before we hand this over to our CEO. Let's talk about the perfect business, the ideal business that is being presented here. I said before, and it's on the next slide, this is a conversation that we have over and over and over every single day. I don't think you go a day, I know you won't go a week without having the money conversation. And so imagine being in a business that everybody's going to talk about anyway, right? That's important. We also showed you how to create a business literally overnight, a 100% IRS compliant business in a box, turnkey, all the bells and whistles that you could want, that would take you months, if not years, to develop if you were to start from scratch. So you can get immediate income. By the way, paid both daily and weekly, depends on which one of the income streams, so that you can earn right now money to pay the right now bills right away, but then learn how to section part of that money off into your future investments. This is a business that also has a very high retention rate. One of the highest payouts keeps people coming back for more. And so that's another big plus. And here's the thing, and we saw this happen during the COVID. This company goes way before COVID. This company flourished during COVID. This is a business that you can do from anywhere, on your hours. You're the boss. And the beautiful thing, everything you need to protect and keep more of the money that you make is right here in this package. And it works in every economy, good, bad, or flat. So back to you.
Man, listen, you've just laid it out. So let's without hesitation, let's bring on our CEO. We're going to stop the screen share and we're going to bring this gentleman up to kind of help us dig a little deeper and help our audience really understand what we've got our hands on. The CEO and founder of MWR, ladies and gentlemen, we're honored and privileged to have him with us tonight, Mr. Brian House. My friend of 20 years, Eric, you've had a chance to build an incredible relationship with this young man as well. And he is special, guys. No question about it. I talked about his ability to have this incredible passion that I've never seen. I've met two guys, Eric Wilner and Brian House. I've never seen two wealthy guys care so much about the average everyday person and willing to pour everything they've got into helping that person succeed and reach their maximum potential. And Brian, brings it from this side, the financial side. He's been in this industry for some time. He's had a tremendous amount of success. He could walk away today, Eric, and everything would be fine. His children's children, they probably go 5 generations deep, would never have to worry about money again. But this guy has something in him. There's a fire that burns that he wants to touch a lot of people across this country and give them a chance to win. And he's done that. He shared this concept with me 8 years ago, and I absolutely lost my mind. It was the best business decision that I've ever made, most rewarding work that I've ever done. It gives me a chance to meet people like Eric Wilner, Fernando Ramirez, and surround myself with real winners, man, because we have a vision for our lives and we want to do good, not just for ourselves, but for the masses. And that's what brings us here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I introduce you to the CEO and founder of MWR, my good friend, Mr. Brian House.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
If it gets any better, sir, I won't be able to stand it. Listen, I'm telling you what, I don't know what it is, but I'm just so excited right now about what we're doing. And you being here tonight just kind of, puts the icing on the cake for us. We're at record numbers tonight for a Wednesday night. I have the chance to share this platform with Mr. Eric Wilner, who is he's Batman, I'm Robin. So we do this every single Wednesday night, and we draw crowds. But I tell you what, the fact that you're here helps us out a whole lot, and people want to hear the good news, and they want to hear your perspective, Brian, about what we're bringing to the table. There's still some folks that are trying to kind of wrap their hands around or their heads around this new direction, but we've just kind of laid out a plan that gives the average everyday person a chance to win. This is so much more than just generating income. This is about becoming free.
Absolutely, Gerald. And first of all, I just want to say this: you and Eric both did an amazing job, and I appreciate all the nice things you guys had to say about me. For all the guests on here, I actually sent them a check to say that stuff about me, but so I do appreciate it a bunch. But listen, Gerald, you're right. You and Eric, what you went through in our presentation, I can tell you when we founded MWR. The name of the company is Make Wealth Real. MWR stands for Make Wealth Real. And I want everybody to understand that is exactly what we do. And I think the most important part of our name is the real part. You know what I mean? Wealth is different things to different people. Some people, if they were just able to make their house payment and their car payment and their credit cards and all this stuff and not have all the stress, they would consider themselves wealthy. And then there's other people that truly desire time and financial freedom. And our whole platform revolves around helping people achieve those things and do it in a way that, one, doesn't put their money at risk. We wanted to make sure that, Gerald, my background, obviously, everything we're doing, and I respect everyone's faith. I also respect my own, but everything we're doing is based on biblically based principles, and to help people accumulate wealth without putting their money at risk, and putting them into a position where they can do it faster than the traditional plan that's out there. And I always ask people, is the plan you're currently on right now going to outperform what you just saw, without putting your money at risk? That's one question. The other question is what you're doing, if you're really interested in having time and financial freedom in your life, and especially freedom in your life, is what you're doing right now going to allow you to be able to accomplish that in the next 3 to 5 years or less? Okay. If you answer no to any of those questions, we provide the solution to that with tens of thousands of testimonies of people that are experiencing phenomenal success with MWR, but it's there for you. And we're kind of in a new era, Gerald, because the MWR Fundable 360, we've always had our core services, which you guys touched on, which focused on helping people eliminate debts and reduce their taxes and raise their credit scores and lower their monthly bills and save them on the things that they spend money on every single day, which is all designed around helping get people's financial house in order, which I think is extremely important. Because if you don't start doing the right things with your money, you're going to get left. Okay. That's just the way it is. And so you either get right or you get left when it comes to your money. And so we put a platform together that doesn't just educate people, but it actually provides them with a team of experts that does the work for them all the way through the process. But this new era of MWR is really focusing on the acceleration of wealth creation. When you take MWR Fundable 360, the ability to use business funding to be able to buy an income producing asset that produces high enough in monthly returns to pay for your funding while also generating a profit for you that you can reinvest to be able to accumulate more precious metals assets that are appreciating every year, okay, every month in some cases, but with an annual appreciation right now that's predicted with silver, for example, which is what we're focused on right now in our precious metals. Experts are predicting silver is going to appreciate by 17 to 60% annually, every year over the next 5 years. That is unbelievable appreciation. And then you combine that with an opportunity for people to be able to share the ability to generate passive income without using their own money and be able to create a tremendous residual income. Those two things have always been my hot buttons, Gerald, in business. And I contribute them to the success that I've been humbly blessed to be able to experience in my life. Is my focus went from linear income, trading time for money, a job scenario. Nothing wrong with a job. Don't get me wrong. I firmly believe we all have to do what we have to do until we can do what we want to do. Okay. But so I have nothing against a job, but that didn't cut it for me. And the reason it didn't is, one, I wasn't in control of what I was worth. I had somebody else telling me what I was worth. And I understood the concept that if I ever wanted to own my time and truly be financially free, there were only two streams of income, two forms of income that I needed. I needed either passive income, money making money for me, or I needed residual income where I could leverage the time, energy, and talents of other people to where we could make more money together. I could collectively make more money than what I could do by doing it all by myself. So leverage played a very big role in my success, and it accelerated the process, which is what we wanted to provide for everybody, the average person out there. And with the things we're doing, Gerald, it's exclusive. You can't get what we're doing anyplace else. This is it. all this package that we put together. To me, it's the greatest wealth plan I've ever seen in my life. And this is 30 plus years in the financial industry, multiple investments, multiple streams of income. Like Eric, I love real estate. I think, I've got a real estate portfolio, and I always like the idea of being able to take appreciation and depreciation and the tax benefits of real estate, but also generating passive income, and also being able to have a property appreciate, grow in value over time. I love that. I love that scenario. But I also know there's some skill sets that are needed. Eric, you would agree with that. And that when it comes to real estate and doing it correctly, also knew that there were some headaches. And I love real estate, but I know when you start out, if you're dealing with single family units and tenants and things like that, it can eat up some time. And so when I looked at this, and again, I love real estate, so I'm not bashing real estate in any way, Eric. But when I looked at this, I thought there has never been a better way for someone to accumulate wealth without skills needed, without risking their personal assets or personal credit, and be able to get the same type of gains, the same type of benefits that you can get through a real estate platform that I've been able to experience. And I know Eric has, and others have as well. And so I love that. So it made it to where the average person could now participate in something that they may never have had the opportunity to do. Okay. And accomplish something phenomenal that you talked about it, Gerald. I mean, being able to borrow $50,000 from the bank, investing in an income producing asset, being able to repeat that process every year for 5 years and end up with over $500,000 in a portfolio, a precious metals portfolio that is producing $4,400 a month in average profits. Okay. Gerald, we were talking about this earlier. What I love about that, $4,400 in passive profits and $500,000 in an asset is a very big deal. Okay. You're literally considered a paper millionaire once you get over 500,000 in assets in your portfolio. And so that's huge. But Gerald, and Eric, that $4,400, the average person, that covers their mortgage, their car loans, their credit cards, their personal loans, their whatever, their utilities. Most people it's going to cover, because the average median income in this country is $56,000 a year. But people are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week to make that. This is coming in whether you go to work or not, and your bills are still paid. If you get sick, you're still getting paid. And guess what? It can still continue to grow because you're getting the appreciation of it while you're getting paid on it. This is what excites me, Gerald, about what we're doing. And the biggest challenge, and I'll say this for most people, is the believability of what we're doing. It's like, and I want everybody to understand this. I told you I was going to hit on this, and I'll be brief because I know you guys may have things you want me to answer or something, but I'll be happy to do that. But I want to touch on a few things real quick because I know you guys have been on here for a little while. I want you to think about, one, the credibility behind what we do, okay? And for those of you that don't know us, MWR, we're an 8-year-old multi-million-dollar debt-free company. MWR Fundable 360, you saw in the presentation, they're recognized by Forbes, Inc. 5000, Entrepreneur Magazine, CBS, Fox, USA Today, as the premier business credit and funding experts, okay, in their field, the best of the best, okay? That's what they're recognized as. The only company I've ever seen in that space that guarantees a minimum of $50,000 in funding for everyone. And they have had 0 turndowns. Out of thousands of people that they've serviced, they have turned down 0 people. They have gotten everybody, a minimum of $50,000 or more in funding. That to me is phenomenal in this space. But they walk you through and coach you through the whole process to make sure you get your fundability scores where they need to be to qualify. And that's the key. That's the key, is having that expert guidance and assistance. Now, you combine that credibility, okay, which we partnered with MWR Fundable 360. We partnered with this company to provide this to our members. And I'm going to lay it out there. It's $2,995. Gerald showed you what it costs to become a member of MWR and a business owner with MWR. And the money you can make with MWR costs $2,995 for people that are introduced through MWR. You know what that company charges outside of MWR? $4,995. That's a $2,000 savings to participate in accessing guaranteed funding compared to what they charge anyone outside of MWR. And it's because of the volume of business that we bring to the table. Now, in addition to that, you combine that with our precious metals experts, okay, and provider, and our depository, which is now the first privately Black-owned depository in the world. In the state of Texas, it's the first privately Black-owned depository in the state of Texas. The qualifications and what it takes to qualify or to become a depository, that this depository doesn't just hold precious metals for our members and license and insure. They're a licensed and insured depository. They hold precious metals for countries, okay? That's how big of a deal they are. And they are now partnered with, okay, we didn't hire a company to handle our leveraging contracts. We call them leasing, but leveraging contracts is what they are. We didn't hire a company. They partnered with a 115-year-old asset management company that has withstood the Depression, that has withstood the mortgage crisis, that has withstood 2 world wars, was the one of the original founders of the New York Stock Exchange. This is an asset management company that handles our leveraging contracts for our precious metals, with over 1 billion in contracts secured already for our members, okay, which is exciting. But this is the type of asset management company that can make it through all those financial challenges where so many went out of business, that did the right things, created the right asset investments, and paid the right type, or negotiated the right type of returns on those assets to stay in business for 115 years. Okay. This is the type of credibility behind our company, guys. This is not some fly-by-night company that just popped up last week, or you see their little sign on the side of the road or on a telephone pole. We're the real deal. We're the real deal. And so I wanted you to have that credibility, to understand that who you're working with if you choose to partner with MWR. Last thing I'll say, Gerald, and I'm going to turn it back to you, is the risk, eliminating the risk, which we wanted a risk-free way for people to become wealthy, because there are too many things out there that do put your money at risk. And it's not that they're bad things, and I don't want to downplay those things, but I look at things like crypto and Forex and stocks and options and a lot of things that are what are called zero-sum games, to where for every one winner in those things, and you can Google this for yourself, for every one winner, there are 9 losers. And that's just the statistics. And so we want a way that it doesn't put people's money at risk, that all they can do is win. And then we decided to back it up with these guarantees that you talked about. But a lot of people go, well, isn't there risk in borrowing money and buying an asset? I'm going to give you an example of how this works. When I say we've eliminated risk, the business funding that we're talking about is unsecured, meaning you didn't have to put up personal collateral. You didn't have to use your personal credit, no personal guarantees, strictly tied to your business. Okay. So that funding is then used to buy an asset, a precious metal asset that historically appreciates in value, grows in value, and can now produce monthly leveraging contract returns. Okay. If for some reason something catastrophic happened and you could not pay your funding back, okay, which we want to pay all of our funding back. But let's just say something catastrophic happened and you used your funding to buy precious metals. Guess what? If you did not make the payments, you still own your precious metals. Those precious metals are still producing monthly returns that you get to keep, and they are appreciating in value. Now, am I promoting defaulting? Absolutely not. Because the more you utilize your funding and obtain additional funding and generate more profits, the more funding you're going to be able to get. Okay. So you want to keep increasing your availability of funding by not defaulting. But I want you to understand there's no risk and you still own the asset. Now, in order to avoid default, in case something catastrophic happened, you could also sell your precious metals to pay back the funding. Now that funding is available to you again because these are unsecured lines of credit, meaning that when you pay them off, you can use them again. Okay. Now, you could sell your precious metals to pay back your funding, but you get to keep all the precious metal appreciation. You get to keep all the profits off of your precious metals. Okay. You don't have to sell that portion of your precious metals, which means those things can continue earning you money and you were able to pay off the funding as well. We have eliminated risk for our members to participate in wealth accumulation and be able to do it faster than any other vehicle I have ever seen in my 30 years of investing and saving and everything I have done with finances. I have never seen a better, no risk way to accumulate wealth faster than what we're doing it in MWR. And so, Gerald, with that, I'm going to shut up and turn it back over to you. And if you've got any questions or anything you want me to touch on, I'll be happy to do that. I know we've kept people on here for a long time, but those are the things I wanted to share because I think they're extremely important. And the credibility, the no risk, everything that's involved, we've made this an absolute win for whoever participates. And literally the only people that lose are those that choose not to.
Gerald, you're muted.
You've hit a home run. You covered quite a bit. Eric, this is a winning hand here. Your thoughts and any questions for Mr. Howe?
Well, one of the things I think it's important to highlight, number one, is that the funding can be used for anything, right? You
Sure.
have 100% the option or the choice of what to do. I have a question.
If you're outside of MWR, I would agree with that, Eric. Yeah, if you're in MWR, I would say precious metals. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
when you have these contracts, are these contracts for a specific amount of time that you have to stay invested with the precious metals?
Yeah, actually, your leveraging contract, you're actually renting your precious metals for typically anywhere between a year to 2 years. We can get lesser contract or lesser time frame contracts that pay more. We would rather have longer term contracts with big institutions that are going to produce anywhere between 1% to 2%. We say 1.5% on the average. That's 18% annually at 1.5%, which I don't know where you can get that type of return on your money by putting it someplace other than, potentially real estate. But that doesn't count the appreciation. So you take 18% that you're getting in return plus 17 at cash flow plus 17 to 60% in annual appreciation, I can't think of a vehicle that performs better than that without any headaches or risk or any of that involved.
Or special licensing or a PhD in finance and all that other stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. Or years of studying to become really good at stocks and options and Forex and crypto and all these things. So, good question.
So anybody else in the field have a question? I can come up with more questions, but I think there's 80 people on the call. So let's see if there's any other questions out there.
Maybe they can put something in the chat, Eric. If there's some questions, we can search the chat real quick. And
I don't want to keep them too long, Gerald. We've already kept them on for an hour, so
and we're going to get out of here, sir. But we are grateful that you took the time to be with us tonight. This is insightful. I think we've kind of peeled back the onion and got to the meat of what this thing is all about and what we're doing and how successful an individual can be using the system. And here's what I know for sure. There are many people that I know personally that are they're running out of time, Brian, and we've got to find a way to condense the time frames. And this is a viable option. But go ahead, you had something else.
Yeah, one thing I didn't want to miss or not talk about is that I know on your banner you had huge announcement. And I don't know if I was the huge announcement or if you were referring to what the huge announcement is going to be tomorrow night. Gerald and Eric shared a lot of great stuff with you. Tomorrow night, I'm just going to throw this out there, Gerald.
Please.
We're getting ready to share with you how in the month of August, those of you that are participating in our program or whatever, you're getting ready to see a 400% increase in the amount of immediate income you can earn with this program, okay? Without having to pay any more than what you do right now. And so we're adding money for the month of August, 400% increase on upfront money that you can earn through participation in our programs. And so I'm going to kind of leave it at that, Gerald. I'm going to tease everybody, but I'm not making the announcement tonight or I'm going to get shot. But at 8 o'clock tomorrow night via MWR.live, I highly recommend, it's going to be a fun live, but I highly recommend you get on there because I know everybody in MWR is going to flip, and because I don't know where else you can just get paid more money for doing the same thing, and especially a 400% increase in upfront money. But go ahead.
Well, listen. I mean, that's big. That's a big deal, guys. But add to the 400% the additional money that's already on the table. Like the legacy bonuses. So that could turn into how much money on one deal?
Yeah, it could be a lot. Now you're trying to get me to spit out what we're doing, and I'm not telling, Gerald. So
you're not going to get off exactly that easy.
Yeah, yeah, no, so, he's trying to guys. He's like this. He threw in something, just a casual question, trying to get me to slip. I'm not slipping, Gerald. So you got 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll announce it.
Hey, okay, give us the website again.
MWR.live is where you want to go at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Make sure everybody knows on there. It's going to be a fun live, and I can't wait to roll this out. So, yeah, we've been chomping at the bit to tell everybody. So I get to let the cat out of the bag tomorrow.
400%.
Brian, here's a question that I think some people have. Do you have to be a member of MWR to get the funding?
No, that's the beautiful thing about it. You can actually market our funding and be able to get paid off referrals that you submit. Literally, you don't have to sell it. You schedule a consultation for a business owner or someone that wants to participate in it that's not in MWR, and you still get paid. They still get the discount. They still get it for $29.95 because they were referred by somebody in MWR. and it came through our system, okay, instead of being just someone from the general public that participates. That's what we negotiated with our partnership because of what we can bring. So obviously, membership has its advantages when it comes to MWR. So a $2,000 savings isn't a bad deal.
Wow, that's big.
So the
That's
so the
big.
announcement tomorrow has to do with what we're just talking about here, this special funding.
It may. I don't know, Eric. You're not pulling it out of me. You all are horrible. I can't believe you would do this to me. I get it. I get it.
But
But
we
you'll
just want to
find
make
out
sure.
tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we just want to make sure everybody's here. Guys, listen, we send the call out now. Do whatever you got to do to get as many people in front of this opportunity tomorrow to hear this announcement, because it sounds like, well, for sure, there's more money on the table. So there's an increase. And we showed you a lot of money tonight. And you're saying that there's going to be even more money tomorrow night. And go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say this, Gerald. The whole reason we're doing this, I am a big believer in multiple streams of income, and MWR provides those multiple streams of income. I'll give you another scenario, Gerald. God forbid something ever happened to MWR and it went away. You can still, be able to, you'll still have other revenue streams that you'll be able to benefit from, even if we're not here, just because of safeguards we put in place. We don't ever plan on going anywhere. We plan on being a legacy company, and we're very rapidly approaching that. We're already been here for 8 years. Most companies in our space, they don't last a year to 2 years. We've been here 8 years, doing great, and excited about the next 25 to 50 years. But granted, I probably won't be running it. Gerald might still be around running it or so. I don't know. But we wanted to be able to do something that gives people multiple streams of income in one place, but make MWR their main source of income, and make every other stream of income out there not look like streams, but look like puddles. And that's what we're talking about tomorrow. Okay. This 400% increase in what we're getting ready to do is really going to reward the people that are building MWR right now. And I will tell you, for you guys and everybody else, of course, they won't know about it, but it's retroactive to tonight. Okay. So anything you do tonight, I will make sure it counts towards this promotion.
Wow.
That based on how we do, it'll determine whether or not it becomes permanent.
Well,
that's a big hint, Gerald.
Yes. Let's lock it in and make it permanent.
That's a big hint.
Yes.
Brian, someone asked, can a 501c3 access the fundable 360?
Absolutely. Yep. 501c3s, LLCs, corporations. There might be some special things that need to be done with the 501c3, but the experts, when you do your consultation with them, they'll explain what needs to be done and stuff. But yes, they work with banks and churches and other organizations. So absolutely.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Well, Brian, listen, I know you got to get back to your family. Eric, wow, we couldn't get it out of him. We came close though. But I guess we've got to all show up tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. and we'll be here strong as thunder, our entire team. And guys, don't come alone. Bring as many people as you can to get this news firsthand so that we can take advantage of what's being put on the table. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Be there, no question. God bless you, my friend. Thank you so much for your time tonight and all that you do to help us win, and your commitment to this cause, and putting this together, man, following God's vision, and staying true to it, and working this thing until everybody wins. And that's what excites me about what we're doing, because people's lives are being impacted. And I've always said this, and I'll continue to say it. This is the new American economy. It's MWR.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Gerald. And I want to thank you and Eric and Fernando and all of your leadership and all the wonderful people that are on here. I see so many great names and everybody that I see in our system and I've seen at events and things. But I want to thank you guys for your leadership. I will say this, Eric, you said this early on, and it's the truth. I've been in the field. In addition to owning, this is my fourth multi-million-dollar debt-free company, my last company that I ever built. And on top of that, I built two very large network marketing organizations, in excess of 28,000 members throughout the United States in those companies, and have made millions of dollars in the industry. And I love this industry. I think it's the fairest and the best way to distribute any product or service and allow people to be able to share in the profits. I think it's phenomenal what we do. But I will tell you this, if there's one thing I do understand as the CEO of this company, we would not be where we are if it wasn't for each of you in the field. For 8 years, Gerald has got to witness this, Eric and Fernando's got to see some of it. We have done nothing but add money to our compensation plan without ever taking anything away. And we're going to continue to do that. As we become more profitable, as we continue to grow, we literally pay out over right now with this promotion I'm running, it's going to be over 80% to the field, meaning we run this company on a 20% profit margin. I'm good where I'm at. And I say that humbly. This program, this company is about you winning. It's about you winning. And the impact I can make on as many people's lives as I possibly can before my day's over and I walk off into the sunset. Okay. And because I'm a big believer, it's not how much money I take with me, because I can't take it with me. It's how many friends and how many people that I've blessed along the way. That's why this company exists. And that's not hype. That's not some cheesy CEO speech. That's how I feel. That's why I'm doing this, because I don't have to. I don't have to. I do it because I love it, and I love seeing how we're changing people's lives. And so I'm grateful for all of you being a part of it and for helping us share this message. So with that, Gerald, I love you, man. One of my best friends in life, Eric, Fernando, love you guys. Appreciate y'all so much, your entire team. And
Thank you.
Anytime you need me, I'll do my best to get back here. We put a quote on Gerald, though. We said you have to grow by so much before I'm allowed back, and that was Indamo that did it to him. So
yeah, he sure did. But we're gonna make good on it. I'm gonna take him up on his challenge. So we're gonna get it done. But guys, I want to thank all our guests that showed up tonight, all those who support the organization and our team. Fernando, thank you for your leadership. Eric, guy, couldn't do this without you. Brian House, once again, we love you, brother. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you a bunch.
Love you too.
Have a great night.
Thank you very much.
You bet,
You
guys.
too.
See you guys. See you, everybody.
Thank you, Sopranos. All right, let's pack the house tomorrow.
You bet.
Double the amount of people. Good night, everybody.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Right. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you all. Awesome job tonight. Wow. I'm impressed. We'll double the numbers tomorrow for sure.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. Couldn't do this without you, brother. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. You guys are phenomenal. Took a lot of notes today.
I'll tell you what,
Bye,
yeah, it was a good night. Take care, my friend.